Red Wings fans, let's do ourselves a favor and ignore the NHL standings for right now. I understand it has been rough. The Red Wings have been losing games. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10. They've slipped to the second wildcard over here, and they only have a 1-point lead over Columbus with one more game played. It is not looking peaceful for Red Wings fans at the moment. So, in an attempt to spark some optimism for the future of this team and its fans, let's focus on the prospects instead. Because earlier last week we saw Craig Button's Top 50 NHL Prospects Ranking article on tsn.ca. This is a great read for Red Wings fans who want to see more out of the future and who just want to get excited for what's to come. This will be linked in the description if you want to go out there and take a look at all of the analysis over here, as well as all of the names. Craig Button ranked the top 50 NHL-affiliated prospects, and there are a number of Red Wings guys to pay attention to. Before we actually read the analysis and dive into the players, though, let's just get the thesis out of the way and expose which Red Wings players made the list. Spoiler alert, Utah's Tej Iginla is number 1, and the Montreal Canadiens are among the NHL leaders in Button's top 50 prospects ranking. You might be thinking, Lego, how are you saying the Red Wings have the most when Montreal is listed in the title of the article? Well, let's just go out there and take a look at it, shall we? The Detroit Red Wings have themselves a total of 4 guys ranked in this list. The number 5 overall NHL-affiliated prospect is Trey Augustine. The number 19 prospect is Sebastian Cossa. The number 27 prospect is Max Plante. And the number 42 prospect is Carter Bear. That is 4 very intriguing young dudes written about on this list. Meanwhile, the Montreal Canadiens, the team ranked as number 1 in the title of the piece, they have themselves 4 prospects as well. Michael Hage at number 6, Sharobsky at number 20, Reinbacher at 28, and Bryce Pickford at number 38. What I find so interesting about this is the fact that every Canadiens dude in the top 3 is ranked underneath the Red Wings guy. Look at that. Hage is under Augustine, Sharobsky is under Cossa, Reinbacher is under Plante, and then Pickford actually is higher than Carter Bear. So Montreal, they're doing pretty well on this list as well, but I wanted to talk about Detroit because there's a lot to like out of the Red Wings and their prospect system. If you go over to the top of the list itself, you will see Tej Iginla, Anton Frondell, Porter Martone, and Ilya Protas, before the conversation on Augustine opens up at number 5. This is what Craig Button goes out there and writes about in regards to these names. Rounding out the top 5 is goaltender Trey Augustine, a 2023 second-round pick of the Detroit Red Wings who was in his 3rd season with Michigan State. The Wings actually have 2 goalies in the top 20 of Button's list. Sebastian Cossa, currently playing for the AHL's Grand Rapids Griffins, is ranked number 19. Now, this is a great time for us to go out there and take a look at just who it is listed on here, and this article from RedWingsInsider.com will help us with that. Big shout out over to Simon Asselin, who went out there and posted this, how the Red Wings pipeline is surging with 4 TSN top prospects. Trey Augustine led the way. The Michigan State junior landed at 5th overall and stood as the highest-ranked goaltender on the entire list. That placement says plenty about Detroit's long-term plan in the crease. Augustine climbed sharply after ranking number 20th on Button's list last year. Grand Rapids Griffins goalie Sebastian Cossa joined him inside the top 20. He wasn't on the list a year ago, which shows how quickly his stock has climbed. Detroit didn't stop there, as Minnesota Duluth forward Max Plante came in at number 27, while Everett Silvertips winger Carter Bear grabbed the 42 slot. 4 prospects inside the top 50 puts Detroit amongst the best stocked pipelines in hockey. Only a few teams matched that total. The Montreal Canadiens also had 4 prospects on the ranking. Stack the numbers together, and the gap between the 2 rivals is razor thin. Montreal's combined ranking score came in at 92, while Detroit finished right behind at 93. The Utah Mammoth also landed 4 players on the list, headlined by Tija Ginla at number 1 and Caleb Desnoyers at number 9. Their group finished with the strongest combined score at 73. Now, I'm not too sure how you calculate this. I think maybe you just kind of add them together, and whoever has the lowest score divided by the actual amount of guys is probably the winner. I'm not too sure. Detroit had 2 notable absences for a simple reason, though. Michael Brandstad-Newgard and Axel Sandin-Pellikka were excluded because the ranking only counted players outside of NHL rosters. Oh man, it's the old caveat, eh? Michael Brandstad-Newgard gets called up, Axel Sandin-Pellikka spends the whole year in Detroit, all of a sudden they're excluded from a list like this. Now, to be fair, I'd say a lot of Red Wings fans have been very satisfied with how these guys have played in the National Hockey League, so excluding their names from a list like this doesn't really bother anybody, I would say. Scrolling down over here, Sandin-Pellikka ranked number 6 on the same list last year, before moving further along the pro path. Meanwhile, Carter Bear continues to build momentum in junior. The 2025 first-round pick has 70 points in 49 games with Everett this season. And away from the prospect spotlight, the Red Wings development system had a strange night Friday, as their Griffins game against the Admirals at Van Andel Arena was postponed because of unsafe ice conditions. So, nice little trivia fact for y'all there at the end of this piece. But if you take a look at some of the numbers, Trey Augustine this year has a .930 save percentage in 31 games played with the Michigan State Warriors, 206 goals against average. That's pretty good. Meanwhile, Sebastian Cossa at number 19 has a .926 save percentage in 32 AHL games. He also had a small cup of coffee in the National Hockey League, which I'm sure a lot of Red Wings fans will latch on to. Going over to Max Plante, he is still a top NCAA scorer with 47 points and 22 goals in 36 games played. There is a lot to like out of the way this guy has been able to transition with the Minnesota Duluth system. And then Carter Bear is all the way up there at 68 points in 48 games. Yes, there are some improvements that can be had when it comes to that point production number, but Carter Bear was recovering from some injuries. It was a pretty rough past 12 months or so for him, so I'm willing to give him the pass, and I can understand why he's ranked a little bit lower here. When you think about it, there are some other guys that are also ranked a little bit low too. Roger McQueen, top 10 guy in last year's draft, is ranked 43rd on this list. Meanwhile, you go over to the number 1 guy, Tija Ginla. I mean, he's got 85 points in 44 games. He's been doing spectacularly for the Kelowna Rockets. I'm not surprised to see him as the number 1 guy. Utah is just absolutely stacked with Tija Ginla and Desnoyers in the top 10. You still have Dmitry Simashev there, a near point-per-game guy in the AHL, and then you have Michael Hrabal doing some good work in the UMass system in net. But at the end of the day, ignoring the NHL standings as they are for the Detroit Red Wings, seeing them fall slowly down into the wild card, there still are some pretty positive stories these days when it comes to this team. And for the Red Wings and their prospects, this can be seen as a pretty good sign for what the long-term future has in store. Trey Augustine's doing really well. Sebastian Cossa is doing really well. We'll see which one wins out the crease long-term. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Detroit Red Wings prospects, 4 in the top 50, ranked by Craig Button. Thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.